And now on to item number 2, COVID-19, discussion and action on measures to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. Somebody want to care to start anything?
You're gonna have a presentation, Mayor?
Hold on, I gotta get my dog. Sorry about that. All right, what's the question?
Are we having, it says Parks and Recreation presentation for this?
All I have is, well,
There's no
in mine, it's got the proclamation for child abuse and then the other thing. Go right from child abuse to COVID.
So Mayor, I believe I'm on. This is Brad McIntyre, your Community Services Director.
Okay, Brad, go for it. Welcome.
Thank you. Hopefully you can see a couple of slides. I've got 4 slides. The first one is just the title, so we can go to slide number 2. And in the last couple of weeks, Recreation Division has received a lot of calls from our customers requesting help and or resources to keep their children active during these challenging times. Our recreation supervisors came up with a virtual recreation center. With the help of George Barlow, we have it on our webpage. It is now live. It is on our homepage. And if looking at your second screen, this is what it looks like at the bottom. And it's called Virtual Recreation Center, Online Activities for All Ages and Resources. So then if we go to the third slide, there are a variety of categories. The third and fourth slide is really one screen. The screen is so large, we just broke it up into 2 different slides. But there are a variety of categories that our customers and our community have access to. The first, as you can see, are different ideas for kids, senior fitness, that gives people the ability to obviously exercise and do arts and crafts. The categories for individuals that can't see also on there: arts and crafts, kids cooking, fitness for older adults, fitness for kids, virtual tours, and story time. It is staff has done an amazing job by creating a lot of opportunities in all these categories. There's 5 or 6 links that go to whatever you're looking for. In our fitness for adults, our Fusion Fitness is with one of our local instructors at the Senior Center. We've done a couple of live and then recorded them. Some of the things that I can tell you personally, there's a virtual resource as well. It's on the bottom right. It teaches people how to Zoom, which everyone's learning how to do that. Also, my son went to the virtual tour college campuses. There are at least 150 colleges that you can click on and do an actual virtual tour of those. And of course, this time of year, you've got a lot of sophomores and juniors that are trying to, or would be, on vacation going and looking at colleges. So this gives them that opportunity. I'd like to draw your attention to the Just for Kids story time. It's obviously for younger children, but we also have 2 stories in Spanish and in Punjab. Anyway, so, and you can also do, like on animals and wildlife, you can click on the Seattle or San Diego Zoo, and it's a live cam. Or you can go to the Smithsonian's National Zoo as well. So it's just a great resource. Again, I can't give enough shout out to our recreation supervisors and George Barlow for getting it on the page. So there's that piece of information, and if you have any questions on that, I'll certainly take some at this time. But then I do have one other piece of item as well.
Through the mayor?
Yes.
Brad, are these free, or is there a small fee for these?
That's a very good question. They are all free. When we first put it up, we actually had 2 that actually accidentally got on there. They were the Cooking for Kids, but once we realized that people had to pay, we got it off.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
Brad, what efforts are we making to let the public know that this is available?
Yeah, another good question. So we started promoting this on social media last Friday, and we've sent a link out, an email with the link to over 12 of our 12,000 current customers that have provided us emails. Since it's been up and going, Mr. Barlow told me that we've had over 5,000 people looking at it. And we're also looking for comments. So if people are listening to this, I hope that they go on. And if there's something that we can try to find for you, or if you're looking for something else, please don't hesitate to push the comment button and do a request or tell us what you think.
All right. Great idea. Thank you very much.
And then the second part is, in addition to our recreation putting this together, they're going to start on Friday. They are hosting what we call playful pickups starting this Friday, and it will happen at Gaucher Aquatic Park between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. were picked because this is when students in Yuba City Unified are going out and getting meals at schools. So we wanted to make it conducive to at doing it at the same time. So every week, staff will be providing a physical activity and an arts and crafts project. Cars will drive through. Staff will be, of course, wearing protective wear and be handing out, for like this Friday, they'll be handing out jump ropes and a sidewalk chalk. Approximately right now, I think we've spent close to $1,000. All the funds are being sponsored by the Friends of Yuba City Parks and Recreation. And I'd gladly entertain any questions on that.
Through the mayor.
Yes, sir.
Brad, taking what I said earlier, first of all, thank you for your work on this. I think this is good steps going forward because people are getting cabin fever. And I think that we need to take this forward across City Hall, and we need to learn going forward how to stand up City Hall in a virtual world to where instead of our residents having to come to City Hall at 12:01, if we can take this across all of our departments to make it easy for City Hall to come to them, this is a great first step. Reaching out to our residents and offering the Parks and Rec services in a virtual environment. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So along these lines, Mr. Mayor, can we ask other questions as well, not just of Mr. McIntyre?
I don't see why not.
Do we have Chief Landon with us tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Chief. Just a couple of quick questions because I know that there's seem to be different flurries of activity going on within our city during this pandemic. Have we seen any trends within law enforcement with increased calls? There's information that's been brought up at different times about everything from what we talked earlier with child abuse, domestic violence. Have we seen any trends in this because of people having to stay at home?
So I'll break it down into two different months, the month of March and the first 20 days of April. In the month of March, we've seen about a 25% decrease in violent crimes and a 21% decrease in property crimes. For the month of April up to date, and bear in mind, not all these are inputted yet, but the violent crimes are down about 40% and property crimes down about 15%. So we have seen an uptake in shoplifting, and right now nobody's really going, well, we've seen an increase of people not wanting to go to jail. So we've also seen violent reactions to people trying to get arrested. We've had 4 of those last year. At this time we had 0, but overall crime is down significantly. Calls for service are pretty steady. we're just different types of calls right now. A lot of the COVID-19 type calls, more calls to transients finding different places throughout the city, moving them along and seeing if we can get them into a place for shelter or try to get them placed into a hotel if they meet the requirements.
Okay, Chief, thank you. And not that you know where we're going in the future, but what do you think the trends might be as we begin to start the process of reopening our area and come back out of this? Do you have any predictive indicators to where things will rise on any case as we make that transition back to some sort of normalcy?
I could make some guesses. I think one of the areas you're going to see more of an impact is traffic. We're probably down about 35% less people on the road. So I imagine as people get out on the road more, there's going to be some more traffic accidents, those type of incidents. I don't really see or have a way of predicting what types of violent or non-violent crimes we're going to see in the near future, but I couldn't predict that.
I appreciate it, Chief. Just kind of a gut instinct, because we're in a crisis like we've never seen before. And along those lines, I know that a lot of people have been coming together to, petition the governor or reach out to the governor, back more of the local control, working with Dr. Liu. And I know there's 3 teams putting together to try to figure out how we get this this area going again. And was just wondering if you had any concerns with that, or I think to many people it's going to be a breath of fresh air to be able to get back out again, but it sounds like no concerns at this point.
I think our concern in law enforcement would be the same, to make sure that everybody stays safe and does it in a healthy manner while getting our economy up as quickly as possible in a safe manner.
That's correct. And I do appreciate it, Chief, because I think people will feel better knowing that we're doing everything we can do to keep them safe, but likewise gets back to some normalcy. I think that will stop a lot of the cabin fever. So thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor.
Through the mayor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Chief, are you still there on the line?
I am.
Can you share how our police officers are taking care of themselves during this COVID-19, protections-wise, PPE or mental health? I'm just interested to know how they're doing.
So PPE, the big thing that we're trying to do is minimize exposure to the to different people out on the streets. We're trying to maximize, it's the same thing as when I was on submarines, time, distance, and shielding. So we're trying to stay away from people as much as we can while doing our job, but doing it in a less proactive manner, more directed. When we get calls for service, we are checking their health every day as they come into the department to make sure that they don't have any issues with temperature, any signs of illness. As they get out on the road, we have all the available PPE that you talked about to make sure that it's available to them. Officer safety wise, our officers aren't able to safely wear all the equipment all the time. So they have to determine the situation on the spur of the moment. So the more information that we get going into a call, the better prepared they can be for it.
How is the community responding to the new times with, stay and home orders and the changes with essential and non-essential? How is the community? What's the feedback you're getting from our safety personnel?
You want the law enforcement perspective on the essential, non-essential businesses? Is that what you're asking for?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I think we're getting very good compliance. I think some people need to be reminded, but every time they are reminded or they're talked to about the social distancing and the other impacts that they have by gatherings, they're always cooperative. Businesses have been very cooperative. I think we've seen a real good success rate of people being non-essential, not opening their businesses. Now, it's not everybody, and we do have to go out to businesses and occasionally tell them that they aren't an essential business based on the guidelines that have been given to us and the public health order by Dr. Liu. So I think most people are doing the right thing.
We lost you, Chief.
Oh, am I still here?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I think most people are doing the right thing. They want to do the right thing, but again, the temperature's getting warmer. Everybody wants to be out, and they're getting tired of being cooped up. But they are very cooperative. The people that we're coming into contact with on a semi-regular basis, not the same people, but different people.
I thank you for, helping with that, because I know that our department has been very instrumental in helping move the information and utilizing our police force to be educators, and at times needing to perhaps, step it up a little more so than that we need to, but we do it with great respect to the community. And I want to just thank you for that, because we can definitely see the results happening in our community that is shaping and good outcomes for us. And a lot of that work has been in your department, in getting that a message, and people contacting for services and finding out how to, what can they do and what they cannot do. So I want to say that you've done really well for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I could just put one plug in for the community, they've been really supportive of the different departments, fire and police, and we've received a lot of food and other things that have dropped by just to let us know that they're thinking about us as well. So we really appreciate that.
Very true. And of course, we can't do this without the community, as you said, to comply and safeguard and taking self-responsibility. It's really been important to all of us. And I just want to say thank you for that. And let's keep moving this into the place where we can be soon amongst each other in different manners. Thank you.
Through the mayor.
Yes, sir.
Chief Lannon, this is for you, sir. By any chance, did you ever get any response from Dr. Liu concerning the florists?
Specifically, the florists, they're being addressed with all the other businesses right now. They formed the 3 different groups. They want to do everybody, bring all the businesses back at the exact same time, and they want to do it in a controlled manner where there's not going to be any issues with health or a reflash or any higher levels of infection, I guess.
And by any chance, will they do this before Mother's Day? Because I know that was one of our major concerns from the letters that we received. Would you happen to know?
No, I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I know that we have 3 groups right now that are working on bringing back the non-essential businesses as soon as possible. I know they're trying to do it in an expeditious manner. I know that is on everybody's minds. We specifically told them about the different businesses that are impacted by the holidays coming up. But again, it's a kind of a public health thing. It's a little bit out of our realm as public safety. So we defer to the experts on that.
Okay. Thank you, Chief, for you and your employees for everything you do for the city. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments regarding
Yes.
COVID?
Yeah, through the mayor,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I just wanted to publicly acknowledge the work that Chief Landon's doing behind the scenes on some of the issues that involve essential versus non-essential. I'm not going to get into the details, but I know that his group is instrumental in kind of going through the different changes as they occur. One as recent as last Friday, and just appreciate that effort. There's a lot of levers being pulled, trying to get businesses open in a reasonable time in cooperation with Dr. Liu. Anyway, Chief, I just wanted to say thank you for that extra work, and also all the department heads that are with the city right now. And I will save some more comments in regards to the opening of the businesses, et cetera, that's on everybody's mind, and later for our council comments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? And Judy, do we have any public comments?
Yes, sir. We have a comment from Thomas Burns.
Okay.
The general comment: when you read the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights, it is clear that the public servants have overstepped their authority in this time. Unalienable rights are retained to the people at all times. The right to assemble has been run over, roughshod, and in violation of the people's rights. The government and the media do not own the narrative. We, the people, do have the capacity to determine our own destiny, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Read the Ninth Amendment in your leisure time. We do not need the city to keep us safe. The people can be trusted to take care of themselves. We do not need the city to be our mommy. Thomas Burns.
Thank you. Any others?
No, sir.
Okay.